Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Academy Award winner Forest Whitaker is making his Broadway debut alongside Frank Wood in the Michael Grandage production of the Eugene O'Neill classic HUGHIE. And we're here on opening night at the Booth Theater to celebrate with the company. It is opening night. How do you feel?
I always feel nervous on opening nights because you never quite, you can't control the evening. It's what it is, and one of the things that you like to do when you're doing a play is control as much as you can, but you can't. You just got to give it up, and you've got to go there. And it's actually, in a way, you've got to turn it into a positive. And I feel a combination of always nervous and a little bit liberated because it's on, and you can just let it go.
I love that. I love this production. We talked very early on in the rehearsal process. What was it like discovering this play with Forrest and Frank?
It was a remarkable thing to discover this play with both of them, and the inner life of the play. That's, I think, when we last spoke, it was about really what the journey of the rehearsal would be and how you get to where we're going together, but making sure that everybody can explore their own different journeys and then bring them together before an audience. The biggest thing since we talked that's been part of the process is the audience, because you can rehearse it in a room a lot, but it all changes completely a play like this. It's mainly a monologue, and the relationship and rapport with an audience is everything, and I think that's the bit that has been the single biggest defining factor of it, actually, which is just getting it before an audience and watching it roll.
What was it like for you working on this, taking us into the world of HUGHIE?
Well, it's interesting because obviously we're an entirely British creative team, and to do a play that's so steeped in Americana, and so obviously a very important part of the O'Neill estate, but also a very important slice of American history and a very big bit of American architecture. So it was kind of great to be able to explore that slightly from the outside, looking in, and I love American architecture, and I just, it was the opportunity to sort of like research it and to work with it, having spent so much time in the city and been in those buildings, and sort of wanting then to, and as those buildings are being swept away, so many of them we're losing them and being replaced by the kind of the modern buildings. So that building like that, this set becomes almost like a hymn to it and a sort of like a memento, because it's sort of, I love that stuff.
I love how when the audience walks in, you're on stage already, living in your world. What is that like?
It's the process of going from like the first audience where I did that for to now was a real arc, because initially I just felt like, well, why am I here, and who are all these people, and then it grew into it grew into something where I could find where my mind goes, both including the audience. I wasn't pretending they're not there, at the same time putting my mind somewhere else, and it feels like a kind of a warm bath. I really like it. Yeah.
And working with Forest Whitaker, the man is making his Broadway debut with a wonderful, challenging play, beautiful performance. What is it like working with him?
It's like working with another really thoughtful, considerate actor. It's like working with somebody who, he definitely he allowed for the fact that it was his first time doing a play, and there was no sense of he seemed interested in what other people had to tell him all the time and what he might want to know, but then he seemed to have an instinct for everything that he would need to know. So it's just a question of saying, yeah, this is what it's like. You're right. This is the way to go. This is what to do.
I can finally say it. Welcome to Broadway, my friend. How does it feel?
It feels really exciting. This was an exciting night. I can feel it, actually this morning when I was getting up and I was just getting ready to leave and come to the theater. We were going to do a run through earlier, and I was kind of electrified. I had a great feeling, and now we've done it, and it was exciting to be there with the audience. It was an exciting night so far.
You are so wonderful. We had talked about this before. I've seen many productions of HUGHIE. You were superb, my friend. We spoke very early on in the rehearsal process. You were working with the master of Michael Grandage and Frank Wood. What was it like discovering the play and discovering Erie?
Oh, it was, I had a great time working on this. At first it's a lot to try to accumulate together and understand the period, the time, and everything. But I think with the proper support, like Michael is like such a supportive filmmaker, director, and he was always trying to get me to feel confident that, and to allow myself to move forward, to be able to do it. And I think he instilled that kind of confidence in me. He always was sure when I was afraid, you know what I mean? I think that was great. With Frank, it was amazing because I loved working with Frank. He's one of the most generous actors I think I've ever worked with in my entire career. And so for me, it's been like more than a pleasure to do stuff with him. It's been amazing.
And what has it been like living in the world of O'Neill?
It's been fun. It's like this period piece. You try to bring the period in. It's in the dialogue, it's in the words, but you want still the audience to feel like they're experiencing something that could be alive, that it's a real person. It's and so that was an interesting balance of like looking at all these words, all these idioms, all these references, all these different things, and making them personal. emotional enough so that hopefully the audience, even if they don't know the idioms or the personal things, they'll feel it. They'll say, "Oh, I get that." You know what I mean? Even if they don't know what "lousy" with Jack means. I mean, it's kind of hard to know stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
My final question is, when you made your Broadway debut and you took your bow tonight, opening night, do you remember what you were thinking?
oh, I was thinking, how long? Michael told us he wanted us to do it a little longer, and so I was thinking, okay, maybe we're taking too long. And I was just kind of like saying, all right, well, let's. They're standing up. I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's a very overwhelming, uplifting experience. For your first time when you're opening a play, and for me, it's my first time on Broadway. For the audience to respond like that is overwhelming. I felt great. I feel amazing.